Wait, my first name and my last name?
Sure. Go ahead and give me your first and last name.
Okay. My name is Becky Reese, and I'm from...
Try that
Sorry.
again. Port Charlotte.
Port Charlotte or Arcadia?
Well, we're more
Closer to Port Charlotte.
closer to Port
Okay.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. We'll probably use that. That's cute.
My name is Becky Reese, and I'm from Port Charlotte, Florida.
With our daughter, she had some quirks when she was growing up. She was also obsessed with certain things. We didn't know it was Asperger's at first.
Different ways that she would struggle, different ways that she processed things. I guess didn't think much about it as she was growing up until a couple of family members who are teachers mentioned that, she may be on the spectrum.
Sometimes I think of things a little bit more deeply than some do, and don't always understand people's jokes. And I had a few tics growing up that I've kind of learned to control.
The heartbreaking thing as a mother is when you watch your child, struggle with friendships and, to feel left out. But then watching her kind of overcome those struggles with some of her gifts has been really amazing.
She had such a gift of just musical, an ear for music and an eye for artwork.
We watched it together as a family, and we were all like crying and stuff, and it was really good.
Seeing Matthew for the first time, it just kind of struck all of us like, that's really interesting.
Matthew's quirks, the way he interacted with people was very mechanical, always looking around. And I kind of recognized that. At least I had suspicions that he might be on the spectrum.
Especially how he was an outcast and how it was really hard for him to make friends and relate with people. And the part where he was looking into his family's house and he was sad because they didn't invite him or anything. Not that my family is like that, but I've had some friends who have done stuff like that to me. Well, I just saw the character and I just really related with it. And I don't know, I just thought maybe if they need a cellist that I could come in if they needed me. And also I wanted to tell you that how much that it impacted me.
So we said, of course, that's no problem. I never ever expected really that we'd hear anything back. I thought that was kind of a neat, cute gesture that she wanted to send a letter.
And I immediately had an idea of what the letter was about, because when we created the character of Matthew, we decided that based on some of the characteristics we saw in the Gospels, that it was plausible, if not factual, but plausible that Matthew had Asperger syndrome. I have personal experience with it. On my side of the family, there's a lot of people on the spectrum. I have a daughter who's on the autism spectrum. And so it just made a lot of sense. And so once we decided that, writing into Matthew these characteristics that I know very well, I felt like we could really do an accurate portrayal. Kaylin wrote me this letter and she simply said, I was moved by seeing a character on screen that I could relate to. And it also brought me closer to God and made me realize that I'm not alone and that God is with me and sees me in these moments. One of our composers, Matt, is actually a world-class cellist, and so we didn't actually need one. But as soon as I mentioned to Matt and Dan, our composers, her letter, and I said, what would you think of us maybe allowing her to participate?
Man, it's really cool that I'm in a position to support and encourage a really cool experience for somebody that I didn't get to have when I was a teenager.
I am always a fan of supporting musicians who are up and coming and who just have this strong desire and passion for music.
My dad opened a text that he got from my mom and saw the email, and then he goes, and then I was like, what? And then I leaned over to look at it, and he said, no, I want to read it to you. So then he started reading the response. We both started tearing up, and I got so excited that I almost jumped out of the car. Then we just sat there wow, God is so good, and I was just so happy.
When she showed up, I think she was clearly a little bit nervous, but a little bit excited. One of the things that were able to calm some of the nerves was we were able to just talk. Matt was able to talk about the cello, and Dan was able to talk about music in general and about some of the things that we did.
And then I kind of figured out what I was going to do. When I found out it was the scene with Nicodemus and Jesus, I was like, wow, that's so special.
Just amazing to be able to see these people would take the time to work with Kaylin to let her be a part of this.
We weren't necessarily just doing her a favor. She's actually a really good cello player. And so when she sat down and started to play, we were like, wow, this is actually really good. This is actually worthy of this scene. The scene that we chose for her to play on is actually one of the most important scenes in the whole show.
The moment that she plays in the cue is probably the most important climactic moment in the scene. It was neat that it worked out for her to be a part of a moment that was that important and not just a couple of characters walking to the market kind of thing, something like that. It's cool that it worked out that way. A couple of simple explanations of things about nuts and bolts of this is how we do this. She was a pro. Yep.
She did fantastic. In fact, I don't think we need Matt Nelson anymore on cello.
Then after we did it, I saw the video with the music, and I almost started crying. It was so cool that I get to be a part of this.
Blessed are all who take refuge in him.
She actually played beautifully and I think brought to her playing a purity that made the scene even better.
She's super talented. I don't think a lot of teenagers get to have the experience that she was able to have today. I don't think a lot of people have enough people pouring into them and just saying, hey, look, you keep going, keep getting better at what you're doing.
I can't tell you how much that just impacted me watching it and knowing that my daughter's cello was a part of that. I could not be more proud as a father.
To hear her be able to play in a studio and to have the encouragement from everybody working with her, it was just beautiful. I can't wait to see the rest, but that one scene, yeah, that's pretty special.
All of that stuff is great when you can invite people into the process of creating. And for us, working on a TV show, for it to be, now it's hers too. Like, it's not just Matt's and my music, it's hers. And I love that we can invite people in that way.
Allowing someone like Kaylin to participate in this, I think, is part of the statement that we're trying to make with this show, which is, in the lyrics of the opening credit sequence song, got no trouble with the mess you've been, jump in the water. And I think that's what we were saying to Kaylin. We got no trouble with this. The fact that you've struggled with Asperger's is not a hindrance to you being involved. In fact, we'd love for you to be involved, and we'd love for you to jump in the water with us and participate in this show that God has clearly been orchestrating from the beginning. Hey there, it's Dallas. I'm the creator of The Chosen. Would you mind doing me a favor? Just real quick, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It really helps our channel get out in front of more people. Thank you so much.